All right, what's good? What's good? Make sure y'all can see a player and everything like that, man. I hope y'all had a great day. I was gonna do a how to send certified mail video, but you can literally Google that on YouTube if you still trying to fix your credit and stuff like that. Um, what we're gonna go over today is building credit. So I'm gonna go through my spiel that I went through in the past, which was I have recorded parts 1 through 5 on how to fix your credit. If you're still a little confused, I paid for everything in this website called mycreditsystem.com. Once again, I am not a guru. I'm not going to fix your credit. I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm just somebody who's giving you my experience and what I used to learn. On top of that, I'm cheap. I know paying $100 for something really sucks, but in this game of life that we have, most things you have to pay to play. Good thing is you have YouTube and someone like me who's willing to share. But this website does have, and you can keep it forever once you pay. It's a one-time payment. I paid for this like 2-3 years. I paid for this actually during COVID, like 2020. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch this video on how to build credit. I'm gonna give y'all my personal experience. I actually don't have my wallet with me, but on the last video I showed that I have like 20 something credit cards. That really wasn't my goal to get a bunch of credit cards, but here we are. So we're gonna watch this video first on how to build credit. Also, we're skipping this video, credit utilization. I haven't watched these videos in a long time, except with y'all, but I'm skipping this video, this credit utilization, because if you don't have credit cards, then you don't really know how to utilize your credit. And utilization is basically low spending. So we're gonna watch the build credit one first, and I'm gonna give you some things that you should do or options unless it says it in the video. So here we are.
Step 6. Build credit. The final step in having a great credit score is to start building good credit. If you have had a sketchy past, you can start making a change. Building good credit is an excellent way to show your future creditors that you are becoming a responsible borrower. Authorized user. The quickest way to start building credit is by becoming an authorized user on someone's credit card who has an excellent payment history for that particular card. When you become an authorized user, you will inherit the payment history of the credit card you are on. This can give you a significant boost in your credit score.
I'm gonna pause it here because this is the easiest way to boost your credit. Now, this does take for somebody to trust you. I'm not a person who likes to ask for help. The person who fixes credit that I know, what I knew for a fact she wasn't gonna let me be her authorized, wasn't gonna be my authorized user to help my credit. So I bit the bullet. I asked one person, and their reaction was ugh. And I thought it was funny because my credit score is better than theirs. I have more credit cards than they do. But for some reason, I guess my persona makes it seem like I'm irresponsible. So when someone gives you that response, don't even mess with it. As far as my understanding, if someone adds you as an authorized user, I don't believe they can mess up your credit. I don't believe they can. Let's keep going.
Find a relative or friend who has a card with perfect payment history, low credit utilization, and long credit history. The longer the better. Ask them to do you a favor by adding you as an authorized user. Credit builder loan.
So if we continue with the authorized user part, let's say I add you as an authorized user on my credit card or whatever, right? If I were to do that with somebody that wanted to fix their credit, I would add you. I don't know if you're actually given a card when you're added as an authorized user, but if you are given a card, if I was adding somebody and I was worried that they was going to mess up my credit, I would mail the card to myself so they can't use it. That would be me. I'd be like, okay, I'll add you, but the catch is I got to keep the card. So that's what I would do with somebody else if they wanted me to add them as an authorized user. If you don't get a card, then there's no harm, no foul. They can't mess up nothing. But I've never actually done that part because no one's ever trusted me with their and as being an authorized user. So this is something I haven't personally gone through. However, I've heard is really, really good, and it's probably better for family, to be honest with you. All right, the next one.
Another great way to build credit is by applying for a credit builder loan. These are loans that are given to you for the sole purpose of rebuilding your credit. With credit builder loans, the financial institution loans you a set amount of money and puts that money in a frozen certificate of deposit with your name on it. Each month, you pay a small amount on that loan until the loan is paid off. The financial institution reports your monthly on-time payments to the credit bureaus, and once the loan is paid off, the certificate of deposit is unfrozen, giving you access to use the money however you wish. There are several credit builder loan programs available. We recommend the 2 credit loan builder programs below. Secure credit card.
I want to pause it here. I've never done a credit builder loan. I'm not going to advise it or disadvise it, if that's a word. What I would say is get a secured credit card. And I was told this through some white people.
Secure credit card.
Right here. I wanted to put on the screen. I was told this through some white people that when I worked in corporate America, they was like, hey, just get a secured credit card. I said, what is that? They said, well, a secured credit card is when you have bad credit, no one's going to want to give you a credit card. Why? Because a credit card is basically like giving you money. And if I don't trust you yet, then I'm not going to give you any money. And a credit score is basically a trust system. So with secured credit cards, they'll give it to you no matter what your credit score is. And what it is instead of them giving you money, you're putting a deposit down. So you'll find somebody who does secure credit cards, and I'll give you a list of those. This video will probably give you a list of those too. But I'll give you the list of the ones that I personally done. And what you do is you put a deposit down. Let's say you put $200 down. You send it in during your application. They send you a card with $200 on it. And your only job with that card is to keep the credit utilization low. Basically, what credit utilization is, and which is why I skipped that video first, was because credit utilization is how much you're spending on the card in a percentage-based realm. So ideally, they will want you to spend 10 to 15% or lower. So if you have a $200 card, you don't want to spend over $20 a month or $25 a month. But that's ideally. In the real world, it's 30%. So whatever 30%, let's do the math because I'm not a math guru. 200 times 0.3. So in the real world, if you put a security deposit down on a secured credit card of $200, you want to stay 30% or lower in the real world. So you don't want to spend more than $60 a month. You don't want a balance of $60 a month on your secured credit card. It's the balance. Okay? So with secured credit cards, it's basically, hey, instead of someone giving you money, you're putting your own money down. And it's basically you proving that you can use a credit card wisely.
Secure credit cards are a great way to get back on your credit building feet. With a secure credit card, you make a deposit of $250 to $500 on a card. You are then able to use the card just like a normal credit card. The card is secured by your deposit, but you make monthly payments on the card just as you would an unsecured credit card. Over time, as you make on-time payments and your credit score starts to improve, you can then qualify and switch to an unsecured credit card.
So basically what they're saying is, what he just said was, if you get a secured credit card, you put your deposit down, you get your card, you use it wisely over a certain period of time, they will increase your credit score, and then you're able to get more credit cards. You're able to get real credit cards. So that's the goal. That's how you build your credit. So I did start with secured credit cards, and now I have several credit cards. However, do not do this if you have not fixed your credit, or at least mostly. Maybe you didn't get everything negative off your credit report. Maybe you got all but one off of your credit report. Hopefully all of them. Then you can build your credit, because there's no point in building your credit and you got positive stuff and then you got negative stuff still on there, so you're really not getting anywhere. So now that you know that, how to build your credit, there is a list down here. So they have self, credit strong. Let's see. I've heard really good things about self. I've heard from people who have a lot of money that they have used self, and a lot of them still use self to build their credit score. I never personally used them. However, I've heard great things about them. So yes, I would advise for you to get a self card. Don't ask me how to get it. I'm sure it's easy. Go ahead and get it yourself. Credit Strong, I've never used Credit Strong. I've never heard about Credit Strong, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and advise you on that. There's also Self Visa Chime. I've heard good stuff about Chime. The problem with Chime, well, it's not a problem with Chime from as far as I know. There's a problem with people that use Chime. A lot of people that use Chime just use it as a bank. And they don't really use it as building credit. So people who aren't able to get banks, they'll use Chime for direct deposit, which I'm sure is helping them, and they probably don't know it. However, those people haven't fixed their credit, so they're just using it as a bank. They don't care about their credit card, but it is great for building credit. I've heard good things about Chime, and I've heard good things about Self. On this list, on things that I've never done, I would advise those too. Now, let's get to the things that I have done. We have Open Sky, First Progress, right? Okay, so I wanted to talk about these two specifically because the first secured credit card I had was First Progress. I put down somewhere between $200 and $300. I put that down on this card, and I said I'm only going to use this card for certain things. And I use it for the train, like train rides. And the train costs like $2.50 per ride. So I knew I wasn't going to go over with this card. This was my first secured credit card. I got it back when it was a little difficult to pay your bill. These days it's gotten a little simpler. The pro is that they'll give you a card. The con is trying to figure out how to pay, which there are a little bit better these days. And the other con is they don't update your monthly balance. Most credit cards, what they'll do is they'll have, when you swipe it, it'll update when you go on the app. Hey, I paid $10 for a sandwich. If you do that with First Progress, it's that part's gonna show up. What won't show up is when you pay. So my First Progress monthly bill is $43 a month, which is higher than my regular credit cards for whatever reason. If I pay my $43, let's say it's due next week. If I pay it today, it's not going to show that I paid it today. So I may accidentally pay it again, or I may want to call, say, hey, did I pay this bill? Like, you just won't know. It doesn't update until your next monthly statement comes out. So would I advise First Progress? Yes. But I would also tell people, hey, it's a little harder to pay, and you won't know if you paid or not unless you look at whatever debit card you used to pay for this card. As far as paying, sorry for coughing in the mic. As far as paying your bill, I have to pay my bill through something called Bill Pay that Wells Fargo offers. First, when I got my First Progress card, I used to pay on their website, but it kept having like errors and stuff. And so I would call to pay because I say, hey, your website's not working. And they would say, hey, well, we charge $5-10 for you to pay over the phone. So I felt like that was a little unfair. Your website doesn't work, so I got to pay over the phone. If I pay over the phone, I got to pay an extra bill. So you got to do Bill Pay. So First Progress, it's okay. But it got me to where I needed to go. I would recommend Self for sure. Here we go for Open Sky. So Open Sky is great. Open Sky was the second secured credit card that I got. With Open Sky, I think I put down like $300. Um, the great thing about Open Sky is that Open Sky acts as just like a regular credit card. When you swipe it, it updates. When you pay for it, you pay through the app perfectly. It tells you your bill and everything online. Open Sky, I have nothing bad to say about Open Sky. The only thing, I won't call it a problem because they're great. So I don't want my delivery to make it seem like, oh, Dee Brown said don't get Open Sky, so I'm not going to get it. No. Open Sky is fabulous. The only thing that I saw yesterday, I've had this Open Sky card for like 4 or 5 years. I put like $300 down. I got my first credit increase on Open Sky yesterday for $400. If you've been paying your credit card really well, maybe not secured credit cards, but unsecured credit, like regular credit cards, they will up your credit limit every 6 months to a year. It's been 4 or 5 years and Open Sky just upped my credit limit by $100. So that's my only bad thing to say about Open Sky, but there's worse things in the world. You're not trying to have this card forever. To be honest with you, I should just pay them off and stop using them. Anyway, so if I had to rank these, I would say Open Sky first, Self second, or Self first, Open Sky second. And I don't know, maybe Chime, and then First Progress, and then also I would also advise Capital One. I actually put down a $700 secured card on Capital One. I just looked up on some money. I had worked for Tyler Perry. I got a big check one time, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do better in my life. Let me put this $700 down on a secured credit card. So I did it with Capital One, and I love Capital One. So I got 3 credit cards through Capital One. So once I had this card and I was paying it like I was supposed to, my balance was really high because I was going through a hard time, but I always made sure to pay my monthly bill. They turned my secured credit card of $700 to unsecured and refunded me the $700. So I thought that was great. So if I had to advise anybody on secured credit cards, it would definitely be between Self, Capital One, Open Sky for top 3 more than likely. First Progress is great, but just make sure you have bill pay on your debit card app, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever you use. Make sure you have bill pay so you can pay through there, because First Progress is hard to pay through, or at least it was back then. Other than that, that's how you build your credit. Do not start building your credit if you have not tried to fix your credit. You're wasting your time. So that's what I got for you. I said selfless plug one time, but I meant shameless plug. And that's a corny term anyway. But this is me on Instagram. I'm in the industry and everything like that. So hit me up if you want to. Dee Brown LTD. I hope y'all have a great, fabulous day.